All right, you're welcome back to New Day, and you saw from the montage we've just stepped into the Heart Bay. So, 2 days ago, South African Olympic athlete Oscar Pistorius was sentenced to 6 years in prison for the murder of his girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp. The presumption, at least on our part here, is that she must have threatened to leave him, and not taking the news too well, he proceeded to kill her. So we thought to do something in line with this and call it dealing with a breakup, coping with a breakup. How do you cope? How do you even initiate a breakup in the first place? I said yesterday, if you want to do it, don't do it in the same space with a guy, especially if you're not sure how he's going to react. But perhaps Michelle McKinney-Hammond will, agree or otherwise disagree with me on that. She's here, she's a counselor, she's an author, she's a pastor of Relevance. And yes, Relevance is a ministry. We'll be talking about that at the tail part of the discussion. I also have David Owusu. He's a social media marketer, and I'm sure he has some experience when it comes to heartbreaks. All right, so you both are welcome.
Thank you.
And Michelle, no one starts dating another thinking there will be a breakup.
No.
I mean, otherwise, other people who actually do that, I start dating.
Well, it depends on if some people enter a relationship for a specific agenda and they plan to use that person for a specific amount of time.
I know someone who wanted a baby.
Yeah,
right.
So that happens.
Yeah. Indeed. I know someone who wanted a baby, and then, she got it and said, well, I got your sperm, I'm done.
Yeah.
But why do breakups hurt so bad for people? I say for people because I haven't been in that situation. God forbid.
Hey, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, I think that breakups hurt because in the person of the mind of the person who is being left, it signals that something is wrong with them, that they weren't enough. It is a direct attack against one's self-esteem, that you're not desired by another person. I think that is the depth of it. There's a shame and a pain element that says, I wasn't good enough for this person.
But David, how about in the case where the relationship was no longer good? You'd find people in terrible relationships who just don't want to leave, and the fear is that you don't know who else you're going to encounter.
Exactly.
It's an absolutely silly thing to say.
Right.
You're probably going to find a worse person. Do you get this very often?
Yeah, when two people come together, the intention is to get married.
Well, usually.
Yeah. We all have that intention to get married, but sometimes it doesn't happen for so many reasons. Sometimes maybe the person will cheat, maybe you're no longer interested. A whole lot of things come into play before a breakup happens. It happens like that. It's sad. Sometimes you're looking at the kind of investment you put, your time,
your money, which you can't get back, your money.
Am I going to part with this person for the rest of my life, knowing that I love her?
Do you actually capture his facial expression? This is someone speaking from experience. I'm just looking at, there's some pain coming from
pain, the time, the money.
I get it.
I love her, and then we just have to part ways. It's sad. You feel down. I mean, the pain is real.
But is there always some pain? Is there always a sense of loss? Because Michelle, I think that there are people who might have seen it coming. There are people who might have initiated the breakup themselves. There are the cases where the breakup was mutual. So is there always a sense of loss or pain?
Well, I think it depends. I think that even when it's been bad, like he said, an investment has been made. And anytime you make an investment, whether it was good or not, you feel a sense of loss. You have a tendency to go back over the time, the money, the energy, the emotions that were spent on the person. In a situation and you both agree, you know what, this thing is not working. It's probably easier, but both people still feel a sense of loss, because what are the options? You have to redo your whole sense of identity. The case where upper and the breakup P, are together. There's why, because some people are just in denial. Sometimes you can be in a relationship and you're not happy. Partner keeps telling you, address it. You think that they're, and one day you find out, no, they're not going to put up with it. And Usually in that case, pain escalates to anger very quickly, which is maybe where this Pretorius guy found himself, where he couldn't believe you are leaving me. I don't believe this, and that's what happens. Sometimes keeps you in control. So they quickly flip to anger because it doesn't leave them feeling as vulnerable as when they stay in pain mode.
But does the degree of pain have anything to do with whether or not the relationship?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that when two people don't sleep together, the breakup is not that big of a deal? There's no bond that's... You've invested your body, which is like becoming... It's literally like tearing the bark off. The tree is still there, but now that's not going anywhere. I believe that when you have sex with someone in a relationship and the other person leaves, some over their departure, pieces of yourself that you invested that you can't get back.
Yeah.
So you're grieving over the you that you cannot reclaim. That person has taken that part of you and they're not returning it.
But David, from the point of view of a man, is this true? Do you feel less of a loss if you break up with a girl you actually never went to bed with? You might have invested all the money, the gifts, the time, but you never actually had that intimacy, that sexual intimacy. Do you feel any loss? Or it's really all about the money?
No, it's not about the money. When sex comes into play, the pain is different from when I haven't done anything with her. She wants to leave. Okay, fine. I don't feel a part of me in her. And so I'm okay. The pain is not as painful as having something to do with her. I feel she's now a part of me.
But what do you feel? It's actually the women who would feel the loss. You, the man, you more like talk.
I think that is on different levels.
Yeah, it should be on different levels.
I mean, it is spiritual. We know that the sexual union is not just physical. It is spiritual.
One flesh.
You become one.
Yeah.
So whereas men usually don't feel it the same way a woman feels, because a woman has received, the man has taken. Okay, so he's deposited. The woman is receiving. I mean, I hate to get graphic, but that's the reality. And so what happens now is men don't usually feel it on the same level that a woman feels it. But because it is a spiritual component, they also feel it. They just deal with it differently. Because we think that, men don't feel it. Yes, I mean, men don't as easily as women do. So let's face it, men do feel things on a deep level. Them in a different way. They tend to compartmentalize and move on. Men have more options because there are many women waiting for them. Women don't have as many options. It's true. I mean, women have become very aggressive, but let us say that for the most part, a man still is the one who does the choosing, even when a woman advances. So there's a whole different level of interaction that comes into this, and who feels they have options available to them.
Between men and women feel the pain a bit more from a breakup. And again, I reiterate, so it doesn't matter how much time you spent in the relationship, how much money you invested in the relationship.
It depends on the intimacy.
I mean, sexual intimacy takes precedence over all these.
I can be with someone time, but we weren't so close. And I can be with someone within a short time, but I feel I know this person, I'm so into the person.
Because of sexual intimacy?
Not always sexual. There are other things that come into it.
Okay. Like
and because men you based on how they feel when they're with you. So if this woman is building his ego and making him feel like a man, and then that's taken away.
Right.
Now everything that she built into his psyche has now been ripped away.
Right.
So we start asking questions. What went wrong? What happened? Am I not good enough? And
even you men get to ask that.
Yes.
Because maybe later you see her with another person, and maybe the person might be, let's say, more attractive than you are.
That would hurt. Yeah, I mean,
or less attractive than you are. Yes, that also hurts because you go, what? You changed me for that?
For that? Yes.
If the person is not maybe as attractive as you think you are, I mean, sometimes I feel, okay, she left me for someone who is not even better, like myself.
Yeah, then I would say your loss.
Yeah.
That's your
But
love.
that's an even deeper insult, isn't it?
All right, so later in the program we're going to be opening the phone lines. We're getting interactive. I'm sure there's several of, well, I hope there aren't several of you who have gone through, a breakup and have had to deal with it in, in a terrible way. But otherwise, we're opening the phone lines. Michelle McKinney Hammond is here. She's a counselor. She's a pastor. She, is just the right person to talk to about your pain, or your sense of loss. So the number is on the just about. Yeah, so you can start calling. I can see all the way from here. I can see the monitor all the way from here. So you can just about start calling. Before we discuss recovery, let's look at what I hammered on initially, being how to initiate the breakup. Because I think that
That's
the
very
lesson I learned,
important.
the lesson I learned in 2013 when news of River's death came, that and Oscar, I thought to myself, in the event I want to break up with someone, I'm not doing it in the same space we're sharing.
Right.
Taking a phone and calling him and saying it's over. How do you initiate a breakup, Michelle?
Well, I think that you find a neutral place to do that. You spend patient for problems, so I think a restaurant. I don't believe in texting, phone calls, emails for breakups, because someone's heart, and when any type of written correspondence is done, the person reading it can hear it in any different tone of voice, and so they might hear you shouting at them when you're not shouting at all. So I think that it's very important. Go to a restaurant, go someplace neutral, and just explain why you're doing it, and try to leave on an up note. Affirm them as a person, but it's just not working for you. Here are the reasons why this is not working for me, and I feel that it would be best for us to go our separate ways, and that you be with someone that top mode of behavior is okay with, because right now we're just torturing one another. It's just not working. So I think it's very, very important to be direct, to have the reasons why. It can't just be, I don't like you anymore. There's something behind that. What made it come to that place? And then, let them know that they're fine as a person. It's just not working for you. And that they should be freed to be with someone who loves them completely as well.
David, how would you initiate a breakup?
As she said,
Typical
first,
man.
I have to know the kind of lady I'm dealing with. There are some ladies who are like, they have they are quick-tempered. Someone like that, I will not invite her to my house, or I will not go to
They're
her house.
violent before they
They're
throw things around.
Because if I know I go there and I explain things to her, she's capable of doing anything. And so someone like that, I'll look for a neutral ground. Like she said, a restaurant. I sit her down and then we talk about it.
All
but
right.
if she's this calm type of person, but for phone calls and text messages,
You wouldn't
no,
advise
I don't
that.
advise.
It depends.
No,
I mean,
you should man up and then just
Yeah.
explain to the person.
all right. Okay, let's take it. We have a caller from Takrady. Dennis or Dennis? I didn't quite get that. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Kate.
Okay, it's a
Hello.
Dennis. Hi, Dennis. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so you're listening in the conversation. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you ever had to deal with a breakup?
This is my first time.
Okay, share your experience with us.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay, do.
Yeah, if you are dating a man, I've dated a man for 3 years, and when I ask him something, he refused to give it to me. Should I
Something like what?
continue
Material?
dating or
Material
stop
things?
dating?
Sorry, Dennis. Material things, money.
Yeah. If I asked him money, she refused to give it to me. If I asked him something, he told me that I don't have money. I do not have this. So wait, if I have it, I'll give it to you.
Okay, so you want to ask if you should exit the relationship? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for calling, and stay tuned because Michelle is going to address that. Thank you, Bernice. The question I would readily ask is, are you sleeping with him? You know,
and why? I mean,
and-
if you've been with the person for 3
3
years,
years.
he's not invested in marrying you.
Right.
So there are a lot of other questions for this
Yes, several
relationship.
questions.
Why have you been with this person for 3 years? And
Yeah.
are you in a situation where you're not being given? Is this person fulfilling you emotionally, spiritually? Where are they fulfilling you? Money should not be the only motivation for the relationship. Perhaps he isn't a financially tight, therefore he can't give her the money. But the bigger question is, are any of your needs being fulfilled in this relationship? And why has it not
Emotional needs
culminated in
not-
more of a commitment and a covenant at
Okay.
this point, after
Yeah.
3 years?
Yes.
I don't think that any woman should waste more than 1 year of her life with a person unless they have a systematic plan where maybe they're finishing education or something like that, where there's a plan for moving forward.
Yeah.
But to just be in this mid zone and the relationship's going on and on, no.
I will come back to that. Pascal is calling us from Apam. Good morning, Pascal.
Good morning.
Well, you sound down. I hope you're not dealing with a breakup.
Oh, no.
All right, let's hear your question.
All right, mine is like, I'm having a little problem with my lady. Hello, can you hear me?
Could you please speak up?
Yeah, it's very low.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, but just speak up, please.
I said I'm having a problem with my lady, and I need a solution to that. So I want to ask if I can give it up so that I can help you out.
Yes, you're having a problem with your lady. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to speak to Michelle off camera. Is that it? You want to meet her outside the studio?
Sorry?
Can you ask your question? So what's the problem you're facing with your lady then? Okay. Sorry. All right. Sorry. But back to Bernice and, you know, not getting any material things from the man, you know, after 3 years in a relationship. I think the question also to ask is if she's sleeping with him. It's
Yes.
the trend these days. It's the
Well,
phenomenon
obviously, it
these
sounds like
days.
she probably
and if she
is.
is, then that's why she expects that she should get something
Exactly.
in return.
Yes.
And that's it really is the reality on the ground. If the woman is giving you herself, you know, I think that the least you can do is try to attend to her, you know, material needs,
What if
physical
he's
needs.
not financially sound?
What? Yeah, I mean, if
What are you doing with a man who's not financially
Well,
sound?
like I said, there are a lot more questions
Yes,
for Bernice
Bernice.
because there's a lot of information missing here. Why is this relationship 3 years down the road and no commitment has been made?
Yeah.
Number one. Where is this person financially? Why are you there?
Yeah.
And what is he fulfilling? Is he
Okay.
not fulfilling anything? Then why are we still in this
We
relationship?
have another caller from Agona Swedru. That would be Yao. Good morning, Yao.
Good morning.
Oh, Yao. Are you also dealing with a breakup?
Yeah,
Oh.
I have a problem with a lady that I dated for about 3 years.
3
years.
seems to be the
Three
magic number
years.
today.
What's the
Yeah,
problem?
she was-
Do share.
Yeah, she was married and I found out that she was not divorced with a man permanently. So I decided to break up with the girl and we break up for about a year now, but she's still been calling me, texting me, sending me Facebook requests and WhatsApp, but I don't reply. Sometimes I don't pick her call, but she used to do that. And I don't know how I can ignore her permanently out of my life. But I don't even see her anymore, and I don't like to see her anymore. But the things that she's been doing, I mean, baffles my mind a lot, and I don't want to get involved in her anymore.
Yes, you want absolutely nothing to do with it. Thank you. Michelle will address that. Perhaps, well, he doesn't even need to get a restraining order because there isn't any
Right.
physical closeness. It's just the occasional calls and text messages. But that must hurt, you know, to find that the one you've been dating for, 3 years was actually still, married, not necessarily divorced, you know, but you see, but the excuse, in all fairness, they may have been separated, still working on
Well, then
divorce
do the
proceedings.
legal thing
Yeah.
and be honest.
Oh, be honest.
You know,
Tell
the problem here is
Terrible.
deception. When we are not honest, it sets us up for heartbreak. But, you know, maybe you need to change your number and tell those you love what your new number is. and block her. You're the social media
Social
expert
media
here.
marketer,
Can we
yes.
block so that she's not continually? I mean, you can block her. So I think you still have a little door open yourself, and you need to deal with that, because if you're really serious about cutting ties, you will take the necessary steps to get her to the point where she is not able to contact you at all. And you have to put your foot down about it, and it will stop.
David, that's your fellow man. What's your piece of advice?
You should just to get over the past. You need to accept it. That is over.
Okay, I have a
No
long
matter-
distance call. I
Okay.
do have to take this. Yusuf is calling from Salaga. Good morning, Yusuf. Good morning, Yusuf. Oh, all the way from Salaga. Okay, sorry. So you were saying,
So he has to accept the fact that it's over, and
Okay.
take necessary steps
yeah.
to move on.
I mean,
Because no matter how many times she calls you, you don't pick up. As she said, just cut her off.
yeah. But I mean, look, people deceive all the time, but there's also the element of forgiveness. And before we talk about forgiveness, let's speak to Elizabeth calling us from Kasoa. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning.
Well, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, what do you have to share with us?
See, my problem is I've been eating this for 9 years. And I don't love him anymore. I'm trying to break up with him, and yet so he said he wouldn't let me go. He says that he's not going to allow me to marry anybody. So please, I need help.
Really,
Is
Elizabeth?
she
For
married?
9 years, you're not married.
No.
You've been dating this dude for 9 years.
Yes, but actually he really wants to marry me. I said no. And he said no, he's not going to allow me to marry anybody. He will follow me everywhere, and he will even find me if I decided to disappear.
Wait, Elizabeth, how old are you?
I just want to break out. I just want him to go.
Elizabeth, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Hey,
I started dating him when I was very young.
19. Okay. You can see my face, like I am just shocked right
Right.
now. And that's the same here for Michelle. And hear the response. Dating this dude for 9 years. She doesn't want to marry him.
I think
How
that
do you
the guy
even
has made
stay?
an investment, so he's not ready.
So he's not
to-
ready
Yeah,
to
yeah.
let go. You're-
Something has
Yes,
been invested here on a serious
And,
level.
and truth be told, that's unfair on the part of Elizabeth.
Yes.
To have stayed with a guy for this long when you were just
She's
when
not-
you
saying
knew
no.
you wouldn't
he
marry
kept
him.
asking you to marry him, you should have broken it off a long time ago, because your intentions were different. He had the agenda of marriage and you did not, and you strung him along probably because maybe he was helping you financially or something, so you decided to put up with someone now that
Otherwise,
you like.
otherwise she's been trying to break
Right.
it off over the years, but
Right.
he just wouldn't let go.
But how does this happen? How do we attempt to break up with someone for 9 years? Really?
Good question. We will
Which
have to
meant
address
that
this.
you've been
Elizabeth,
you've
this
been
is
interacting
an
with
extensive
him.
thing to discuss.
Yes,
we'll
it
come back.
is.
But we have Emmanuel from people have breakup issues. We have
Yeah.
Emmanuel calling from La Paz. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Morning.
Yes, Emmanuel. How are you?
Oh dear.
Okay. Yes. Back to Elizabeth. I mean, this is the most
Yeah.
ridiculous thing I've heard.
Because
Yeah.
if he's at the point where it's escalated to he refuses to let her marry someone else, it tells a story of someone who's deeply invested, who has been made to feel that he was the person on and off, perhaps, and maybe he was going along with it, hoping she would change her mind. So she did mention that he had asked her to marry him before, and she said no. But at that point, that was time to cut off the relationship, not keep it going and just play along because you didn't have another option, or perhaps you were getting something out of the no one stays with someone
Yes,
for
perhaps
9
she
years
was getting something out
if
of
you're
it.
not getting
Yes,
anything out
yes.
of the relationship.
Yeah.
So she has to own her part in this, and she probably is going to have to move or something drastic at this point to cut off this relationship.
At any point in time, will the police have to come in?
We don't know because we don't have enough information. But if he's saying things like, I'm not going to let you marry someone else, it suggests
Yes.
that there's an area of concern
Yes.
with how he will
Yes,
handle
he
this,
probably
that he's
would
a
get
volatile
physical,
person.
yes, if you're
Yes.
We have another caller. I failed to get where he's calling from. Amasamai. Yes, Amasamai. Sorry, what's your name? Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Nicholas.
Okay, let's hear you.
My problem, the problem I'm having is I'm dating a lady for close to 5 years now.
Close to 5 years?
And I've been doing this lady, yes, 5 years.
There's an echo in your sound. I'm so sorry. I wish I could hear you. There's an echo in your sound, Nicholas. I wish you could speak up, just so we'll have a clearer conversation.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Please go ahead, yes.
Yes, I said I've been dating a lady for close to 5 years now, and I've been doing everything for this lady. And, got to a point where, she has been making some demands which are, demands which I cannot fulfill. Recently, about 2 months ago, she called me on phone and she was telling me that by the end of this year, she buy things like TV sets, fans, carpets, all the things that, he could buy me. So I was actually frustrated, And when I tried to explain to her that I would not be able to, fulfill her wishes, then she got angry and all that. And I'm not okay with it, I don't think.
Nicholas, I'm not Michelle, but I have to ask you this question. Why are you with her for 5 years? Why haven't you married her?
Yes.
Do you not intend to marry her?
Oh, yes, I really intend to marry her, but the fact is, we started, I'm not ready for marriage.
You're not ready after 5 years. She should drop you like it's hot. I'm sorry, Nicholas. Excuse me, marriage is for growing together. When you tell me that you've been with a woman for 5 years, I know you've been sleeping with her, she's been acting like a wife for 5 years probably, and you have not committed and you have not invested in this woman. Small, reason why she's now making demands for material possessions.
Yes.
She feels like she should get relationship.
5 years.
So you need to either commit or get off the pot and release her to be with someone who will take her seriously and marry her in a proper time frame.
Yes.
All of these relationships set up a breeding ground for chaos and heartbreak. When you love someone, you invest in them, you make the commitment, you marry, and you grow together. I have no understanding of when a man after 5 years says he's still not ready to marry a woman. I am sorry. I just have to be direct with you that this is not on at all. And you are getting more out of it than she is at this point. And that's why she's bothering you for financial and material
Absolutely.
things.
So buy her that TV, otherwise
Buy
let
her
go.
the television or
Let
marry
go.
her.
Yeah.
If I was her, I wouldn't marry you at this point. I would.
Well, sorry, but yes, it is
I
the
would.
case. Sorry.
I have this question.
Yeah, I have a caller. I have a caller from Takrady as well.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name, please.
My name is Betty calling from Takrady.
Okay.
I have this problem that I want to ask Michelle.
Sure.
I was dating a guy for almost about 3 years.
For how long? You were dating a guy for how long?
Knowing he has something hidden. One day, like we traveled to. Hello?
Yes, better. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. One day we traveled to a hometown for his people. Okay, but when we went there, we had been already getting married to a certain lady with a kid. So I decided to break up with him. But here is the case. He's not giving me chance at all. He's not giving me chance. I've changed my number several times, but I don't know how he gets my number. Even if he sees me with another guy, it's a trouble. I need an advice.
I can't understand.
Yes, it's hard for me to understand. What, you live in the same vicinity?
Yeah,
Do you live in the same neighborhood with a guy?
with a guy.
Yes, and when he sees you with another guy, he gets violent.
Yes,
But he's married to someone
Yes,
else.
he's married to someone with a kid.
with a kid. We went to his hometown and I got to find out.
Well, you know what you should do? You should go and inform his wife. Seriously.
Otherwise, inform the police and get a restraining
Yes,
order.
inform the
This is-
police and inform his wife. Because this is not proper behavior. And perhaps you should consider finding another place to live.
Thank you.
I know that sometimes these things create great difficulty, but your life is now at risk. So you need to move.
Thank you so much. This is just sad.
Yes.
He's married. You are dating for about 3 years.
3 years.
You travel to his hometown or your hometown, and then you find that he's married with a kid, and you want to break up, and he won't let you go. No, I don't think you are even ready for the breakup. Otherwise, you would be gone by now. You wouldn't be saying this.
Exactly.
No way. If you're that hurt, you wouldn't even countenance anything like this
exactly.
from him.
She still loves
Yeah,
him.
that means you've opened the door, like Michelle would say.
Exactly.
This shouldn't be countenanced anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a last caller. See how fight I am. This is.
I mean, it's.
We'll take a
Can
last
I just
caller.
say one thing?
Yes, quickly.
Ladies, do not allow a man to take more than a year of your life. You literally are taken off the market and all your other options are walking by. That person is blocking your Boaz, okay? They need to get out of the way.
Yes.
If they don't know what they want to do with themselves and with you within a year, move on.
Thank you. Let's take Faustina. Good morning, Faustina.
Good morning.
Where are you calling us from, please?
I'm calling from Bolaga.
Oh, great. How are you?
I'm calling from Bolaga.
All right, let's hear your question. Let's hear you.
I'm married to a man for 10 years now. For 10 years now, we have 2 kids. Suddenly, the man told me that he wanted to go to school and that I should take a transfer to any other place because where we were living was his hometown and that his people were worrying him. So I thought it was going to my hometown where I could get support with my kids. There, he supported me. I took my transfer and went. And after I left for 4 years now, to the school, he is there. He has never told me, oh, I can't go to the school again, come back. He has never told me that, oh, I have not gone to the school because of this and that. Silence is just his choice. Anytime I try taking transfer to join him back, and he's living there. Now I need advice. I don't know what to do.
Has he asked for a divorce? Let me just ask you.
Let us break the relationship so that I will
Yeah.
have my kids that I don't have a husband. He will say no. So I don't know.
Thank you, Faustina. I also don't know. This is just one word cut on my
Well,
tongue. I don't know what
why
to say.
has it taken 4 years for you to recognize that this is a problem? Obviously, he's in a relationship with someone else and has conveniently removed you from the home. So perhaps you need to go and have a full investigation of exactly your marital home, involve your family and get to the bottom of it and bring this to a resolution, because your life is in limbo, your children are in limbo, and he's living his life. It's a very highly suspect situation, but obviously he wanted you out of the way.
Yes, he
for
did.
some reason, and after 4 years, I think it's time to resolve it, so you can either move on or reconcile.
He doesn't even want to leave. He doesn't even want to let go. She wants a divorce, and he's not ready to grant it.
So he wants his cake and eat it
and
too.
eat it, yes.
Men, what are you doing?
Oh.
What are you doing? Your children are involved. Your
We
children-
have, you know, the point of recovery, how to recover from this. But at least we address the concerns
Yes.
of our callers. Perhaps maybe another day we can do a part 2 of this.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's been absolutely fantastic having you.
Thank you.
Pastor of Relevance.
Yes,
and
a new
Relevance is
ministry.
a new ministry. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's a kind of, we are, word is being taught line on line with application so that you God wants the word of God. So we're trying to keep things in a way Christians who want to be intelligent, critical thinkers, but also tapping into the present. You never have to rely on someone else to get a word from God. You should be able to tap into the presence
that
of
we're
God.
using the element of praise and worship.
Exactly.
Yes.
The worship is
Thank you,
deep.
Michelle.
Come and join us. You
Yeah.
can go on relevancelife.org
Okay.
for more information and
Thank
directions.
you so much,
Thank
Michelle
you.
McKinney Hammond, counselor, author, pastor of relevance, and David Owusu, social media marketer. We should do this again.
Yes,
we should do
let's.
this again. And thank you and all our callers. I hope we had your concerns addressed accordingly.